So the first thing I'm going to do is apply some concealer, and I'm actually using some concealer that I already have that I'm trying to use up. Senegence does have a green concealer that I use a lot to cover up redness that I really like, but today I'm just using some concealer I have. I'm going to mix my Make Sense foundation with the pearlizer. I use Dewy for my skin tone. The foundation will move within 3 shades, so even if you don't get a perfect match, you can usually pull off several different shades. I'm mixing the pearlizer and the foundation on the top of the bottle, and then I am just sort of dabbing this all over my face, and then I'm going to use my brush to stipple it in. I wear typically a light foundation, but our foundation is just like all of our other Lip Sense products, and that is that it doesn't budge or smudge. So once you put this foundation on for the day, it'll be there many hours later. You can even get it wet, and it's not going to melt off your face if it's hot or if you go swimming or whatever it may be. So I'm just going to stipple that in and try and get some good coverage. Again, I have eczema on my face frequently, so this really helps to keep my skin tone evened out and is helpful for me. Next, I'm going to apply Blush Sense. Blush Sense is a cream to powder blush that you apply in a very small amount. Typically, I just take the lid off and I just take the excess that's sort of on the outside of the bottle, and I have very little, and then I just sort of rub it between my fingers and put it on each side. It's really pigmented, so you don't need much at all. And then I just use my brush to sort of blend that in. And today's a pretty light makeup day for me. I don't have much going on today, so this would be sort of the products I use for my daily look. Now I'm going to apply the translucent powder. This is the natural color. I typically will tap it on my counter to get some into the brush and then apply that. And then I'm going to apply the bronze color, and I'm going to use that right underneath my cheekbone. And then I'm also going to use it, I usually use it down my nose and just a little bit on my forehead. And I think I actually got a little bit too much this time, you can tell. So I added some more regular powder over the top to even it out a little bit more. This powder will actually set your foundation so that it stays put for the day. The next thing I'm going to do are my eyes, and we have a variety of colors of shadow scents to choose from. One of the most popular is Candlelight, and that's what I use sort of as a base on my eyes. And there's a couple different ways that you can apply this. Again, very little because it's very pigmented. So the first way that I'm going to show you is using a brush. And so you can take a brush and just blend it out. You have about 20 seconds, 30 seconds until it sets. The other option is just use your finger. So whatever supplies you have, you can use. So I just use my finger on one of them. And next, I'm going to apply my Lip Sense. So the first thing I'm going to do is clean my lips, and if you're new, you're going to want to use Witch Hazel. After you've been doing this, wearing Lip Sense for a while, you can actually not use Witch Hazel anymore. You can just use some just a washcloth and some soap and water and wipe your lips clean. Now I'm going to apply, while I'm waiting for my lips to dry, because your lips want to be clean and dry, I'm going to add a little bit of mascara. And this is our Lash Sense in black. So I have my eyeliner tattooed, but if I wanted a more defined eyeliner, I could use the Onyx Shadow Sense on a brush. You can see I also filled in my eyebrows. My phone shut off for a moment, so I just used a brush and used Mocha Java in my eyebrows. So I'll have to show that in another video. I'm applying Salmon Lip Sense, and I'm going to apply 3 layers, making sure each one is dry in between. And I want to go in one direction, and I want to keep my lips apart. I don't want them to touch. They're going to feel a little sticky and tacky. And so I'm going to apply, there's my first layer. Once that is dry, it takes about 10 seconds. Mine's usually dry by the time I get the second lip done. There's my second layer. Again, I'm going in one direction, and I like to go on the inside of my lip so that I can get that waterline. That's going to help it stay for the day. So normally I would do a 3rd layer of the color, but today I'm going to actually layer it with a different color, and I'm going to use Dawn Rising. So Dawn Rising is a really pretty, more natural color. It's got a brown undertone to it. So I'm going to do my 3rd layer with Dawn Rising and go over the top of Salmon. And you can see how that just sort of changes the color a little bit. And again, there's my 3rd layer. And I have that little spot on my lips where sometimes it's a soft piece of skin, and it doesn't, the Lip Sense doesn't adhere the first time, so I always have to go back and touch up that little spot. But you can see that changes the color a little bit. And now I'm going to apply my gloss. And Lip Sense will stay on me typically almost the 18 hours. Matter of fact, if I don't wash my face before I go to bed, it'll be on in the morning. So I apply my gloss, and then you can just do that in any direction. And you're going to want to apply your gloss throughout the day, and especially before you eat. But there's a smudge test for you, and it doesn't come off, except the gloss came off. So I'm going to re-gloss here, and that'll last me all day. And that's it. I've got a finished face.